In this video, we are going to talk about this question in the UPSC Prelims 2023, which talks about Anaemia Mukt Bharat Strategy. This question says that the following statements have been made in the context of Anaemia Mukt Bharat. We are to take a look at which of these statements are correct. The first statement says it provides prophylactic calcium supplementation for preschool children, adolescents, and pregnant women. Mentions three categories of beneficiaries and talks about prophylactic calcium supplementation. The second statement says it runs a campaign for delayed cord clamping at the time of childbirth. The third statement says it provides for periodic deworming to children and adolescents. The fourth statement says it addresses non-nutritional causes of anemia in endemic pockets with a special focus on malaria, hemoglobinopathies, and fluorosis. Now, which of these following statements are correct? Only one, only two, only three, or all four? So let us get to understand why this question came in the first place, the motivation for this. If we look at National Family Health Survey data, the National Family Health Survey 5 points out that the levels of anemia in under 5 age children and in pregnant and lactating mothers, especially, are very high. So we're looking at under 5 age children, around 67% of the children have anemia, which is iron deficiency basically. And nearly 57% of the women have anemia, right, which are in the reproductive age bracket. Now, if we look at these figures, we find that from the NFHS 4 survey, which is 2015-16, to NFHS 5, which is 2019-20, the levels of anemia have actually increased. And this is very alarming. Now, we have launched this Anaemia Mukt Bharat strategy in 2018, and this has been given special mention and focus in the national budget also. As such, this question. So we want to understand, what does the Anaemia Mukt Bharat strategy entail? What does it provide for? Well, we call it a 666 strategy, which means that first of all, there are 6 categories of beneficiaries. That's the first 6. That is, who are we targeting under this Anaemia Mukt strategy? So one is children who are in the age bracket of 6 to 59 months. That's less than 5 years. And then children in the 5 to 9 years age bracket, adolescents who are girls or boys in the 10 to 19 years age bracket, women of reproductive age, that is 20 to 24 years, pregnant women, and lactating mothers whose children are up till 6 months of age. That's the first 6. That is, who is the beneficiary. The second 6 is with regards to our interventions and deliverables. That is, we have 6 interventions. First of all, the prophylactic iron folic acid supplementation. Prophylactic means before something happens, like a disease happens. So in order to prevent it, we have an intervention. So we are providing iron and folic acid supplementation, not calcium, but iron and folic acid, in order to ensure that anemia does not arise. Deworming, because tapeworms and all kinds of these worms, ringworms, they often are a cause for why there could be anemia. So biannual deworming exercises are done under the regular health programs, the meal programs that the government of India is running, including under PM Poshan. And then intensified year-round behavioral change campaign, so that we remind people what are the right set of actions. Now that includes delayed cord clamping. So what we're dealing with here is that in the case of childbirth, what happens is that the placenta of the mother is attached with the umbilical cord to the belly button of the child. And usually, what used to be done earlier was At the time of birth, the umbilical cord was cut, and the blood, which is good, healthy blood in the umbilical cord and the placenta, did not reach the child. Now we want that extra blood, the good blood that is there in the umbilical cord and the placenta, to also reach the child, so that that is cut after a delayed period of time, so that the child is able to benefit from all the nutrients, including the iron, which is difficult, often, it's kind of poor in quantity in the breast milk, and we really want that blood to get to the child. So there's this healthier practice of delayed clamping of the umbilical cord, right? So promoting behavioral change, and then texting of anemia using digital methods, right, in order to ensure that there is a better, the whole informatics is taken care of, and we have all the texting of anemia using digital methods and point of care treatment. Apart from that, iron folic acid fortified in public health programs, such as we have PM Poshan Abhiyan, which used to be the midday meal scheme, which we are running. And within that, we're going to provide this. And addressing non nutritional causes of anemia, right, which could happen on account of diseases such as malaria or hemoglobinopathies or fluorosis. So these are 6 interventions that we have in order to ensure that anemia does not happen. We are also working at 6 institutional levels of mechanisms. First of all, this program itself, the National Anaemia Mukt Bharat Unit. Then there is the inter-ministerial coordination exercise, the intra-ministerial coordination exercise. And there is the supply chain logistics that we are strengthening. There's the convergence with other ministries. The Ministry of Health, for example, also works with a lot of food programs and anemia programs. So maybe the Ministry of Women and Child Development is also working with that. So we are going to work with different ministries. The National Center for Excellence and Advanced Research for Anemia Control is being set up. And Anaemia Mukt Bharat dashboard, which is, kind of this digital one-stop shop solution. Now let us take a look at the question once again. The question said, consider the following statements in the context of interventions being undertaken under the Anaemia Mukt Bharat strategy. The first statement says it provides prophylactic calcium supplementation. Since we're providing iron and folic acid, this statement ends up being wrong. Second statement says it runs a campaign for delayed cord clamping at the time of childbirth, which is correct. It provides for periodic deworming, which we do provide biannually. The albendazole medicine is provided to children. It addresses non-nutritional causes of anemia in endemic pockets with special focus on malaria, hemoglobinopathies, and fluorosis, which is also correct. So there are 3 statements which are correct. So the correct option becomes C, that is only